Well, good evening, everybody. We're going to start in about 7 minutes or 8 minutes or so. So thanks for coming tonight. Hope you all can hear me. If you can hear me, that'd be great to know. You can ask questions on your right-hand side or even make comments. There's a space for typing in questions. This is a live event, so you can type in your questions. I'll try to answer them all. But hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me? Hello, 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 hello. And we'll start in about 7 minutes from now. It officially starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. So that's in a few minutes. We'll let everybody get online, try to figure out how this thing works at Google Hangouts. It's actually a video that you have to play. It's streaming. This is a live event. I'm doing this live, but there's about a 5-second delay. So it's being recorded, and it'll be up on YouTube for those who can't make it tonight. But it is a live event, so there's a bit of a delay. So when you type in something on the right, I won't be able to see it for a few seconds. So if anybody wants to ask a question, can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Everything good? Type in your questions. We have over 200, let's see, 240 people for sure registered to attend. They said that they would watch the webinar tonight. But since it's recorded, everybody knows it's recorded, you can actually watch it at that same link location. So it'll be automatically recorded while we're performing this live event. And what we're going to do is a home inspection without going through a home. Oh, thanks, Jared. Awesome. I was wondering about that. So Jared says that he can hear me. That's good. Sometimes there's a technical glitch. Google has gotten really good recently, but we started this a while back. And in the beginning of doing Google Hangout events, there would be crashes and there would be sound problems and technical things. But now, if everything goes really well, it should be flawless and smooth. So one of the things, thanks, Sean. One of the things that you can do is to type in your questions. They'll stay live until I answer them, and I'll try to answer all of your questions. I'm not sure how many. Sometimes there are so many people attending, I can't get to all the questions. And again, we're going to be going officially in about 4 to 5 minutes. The time officially is 8 p.m. Eastern. A lot of people show up late, forget, don't look at their emails for reminders. So no big deal, but we'll try to start on time. I just started the video early so that everybody can get a chance to log in easily. Sometimes it's kind of difficult. But we're going to do a home inspection, which is we're going to go over a home inspection, review an inspection that I performed a while back. And when I do a home inspection, I take hundreds of digital pictures. So we're going to go through about 500, 600 digital pictures. We'll go quickly through them. And we'll talk about how to perform a home inspection. And I'll refer to how I used to perform a home inspection. I was an owner and operator of a very successful home inspection business in southeastern PA, near Philly, very competitive market. And we did that for 13 years. I had a partner, Dan, and now that I'm the director of education, we do these webinars about performing a home inspection, how to become certified as a home inspector, do a lot of online training, a lot of video, a lot of live webinars, a lot of free stuff. So we do these free live events just about once a month. Sometimes it's me talking, sometimes we have an attorney talking about legal issues. We have a tax attorney coming on. We have other experts. So tonight is about performing a home inspection. And I'll go over one or two home inspections that I did a while back and show you how to perform an inspection according to the standards of practice, and we'll keep that in mind. How to take hundreds of digital pictures, the value of taking video. We'll actually show you some video tonight. Writing the report using mobile devices, we'll talk about that. A review of an actual inspection report, we'll look at a report that I wrote, and a few other things, like your brand. Like while you are performing your home inspection, you are acting out, manifesting your brand. Your brand is who you are, what distinguishes you from all the other inspectors. Your brand is the answer to the question, why should I hire you? Why are you the best inspector and not the next person in line? That's your brand. You work on who you are. Marketing is different. Marketing is taking that message of who you are, your brand, and sending it out to potential clients. So thanks, everybody. You can all hear me. Awesome. Thanks, Charles, Sean. A lot of people are still logging in. We have over 240 people coming to the event, registered, but many just come by and attend without registering because it's a Google Live Hangout event, and it's automatically recorded to YouTube. So if you happen to miss it, the webinar recording will be available to you on this same link. So we're going to start in about 30 seconds or so. We'll give everybody a chance to come online live. Feel free to ask questions. Please interrupt me. I tend to talk too much and get diverted off of topic. So feel free to just chime in, make comments. Your comments and questions will be shared, and I'll try to answer those questions if you have particular questions. And so my name is Ben Gromicko. I am from InterNACHI. That's the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors. We are the world's largest organization of residential and commercial property inspectors. We train home inspectors all over the world. And tonight we're doing a live event, a webinar. It's called Performing a Home Inspection. This is our fourth one, so we labeled it number 4. And my name is Ben Gromicko. If you need to contact me, email is best, because I probably have to answer you with a link to information. You can also call me, but my email address is right there. So during these webinars, a lot of people ask, what software should I use as a home inspector? Well, we have some recommendations on which software is a great choice to use during your inspections. I prefer 2, and they're the leading companies. One is called Home Gauge, and the other one is called Home Inspector Pro. Home Gauge works mainly on PC, Windows, Droid. Home Gauge allows you to work mobile on a Droid, and because the report is web-based, you can upload videos. That's what I like. Home Inspector Pro is compatible with both PC and Mac and mobile devices, and I believe they can do video as well. Each one, Home Gauge and Home Inspector Pro, gives exclusive discounts, cheap prices, right, for the software to InterNACHI members. So if you're a member of InterNACHI, those 2 software companies are our partners because they give exclusive discounts to InterNACHI members. That's Home Gauge and Home Inspector Pro. Now, where do you find them? Well, you go to that web page there, that URL, nachi.org/everything. On that page, you'll find everything, but the software in particular will be at step 9. So I'll take you there. So there's the page, NACHI.org/everything. Everything you need all in one place. So if you want to be a successful home inspector, operating, running a profitable business, you go through this step-by-step checklist, and it's on this page, NACHI.org/everything. The first step is to join InterNACHI. Once you join InterNACHI, a whole world of opportunity opens up for you. As a non-member, you're really on your own, but InterNACHI provides everything you need and everything you could possibly think of to be a successful home inspector. And so we developed this one page where we try to put everything that you might need to be a successful home inspector on this page here. First step is to join. Second step is to get trained and certified. All of our courses are online, and we have more than 30 certifications from which to choose. All the online training is free and no additional cost to members, and all the certifications are free, no additional cost to members. Step 3, you work on your branding and marketing. You want your phone to ring. Step 4, you take InterNACHI's free online home inspection business course. Most home inspectors are really good at the technical aspects of performing a home inspection, but they blow it. They're weak in actually running a successful home inspection business. So take our business course. You're actually a business owner who just happens to do home inspections. That's how you should think of yourself. Every member has a members only login account, right? You log into your online, free online account, and that through that portal, you access all of the tools that are just for members. So if you keep scrolling down, you get to step 9, and there's a link here for report software. And that report software link goes to our e-commerce partner, Inspector Outlet. And if you haven't been to Inspector Outlet, you really should, because you can get a lot of the high-end stuff there, as well as the basic tools. High-end things like inspection software, inspection report software, and the spectroscope tools, and moisture meters. But also, you can download PDFs of our textbooks and our home maintenance book and things like that. So visit Inspector Outlet. Back to our slide. So go to NACHI.org/everything. Continuing education credits. Every member has a free online account of InterNACHI, and you can add a continuing education credit for attending tonight's free live webinar. And you go to that URL, NACHI.org/account, and you simply add credits to your online account. Within your account, there are member-only tools that you use. And then again, step-by-step checklist for running a successful home inspection business is at NACHI.org/everything. You can go there. Tools to perform a home inspection. Well, one of the cool tools that InterNACHI has is a microwave leak detector. You put this in a microwave, and it glows red hot when it gets bombarded by microwaves. And you put it next to a cup of water or a hot dog, and it glows. So I put this in the microwave with a cup of water. I take a picture. Because it's glowing, microwaves are shooting through it. And there's always an opportunity to show your brand. I'm the home inspector who does the microwave leak detector. And so I make sure that my client is right behind me when I'm explaining what I'm doing. And you can order those through Inspector Outlet. This is a gauge. It's a cool one. It's a dual gauge that I use. You connect it to the spigot outside, and you can turn it on to look at the flow, gallons per minute flow, or turn it off and look at the pressure. So it's a dual gauge. I kind of like that. That's a really handy device. And I know some states require you to test the flow and the pressure, like Texas. This is a handy device. It's a screwdriver, obviously, flathead and Phillips, right, and small. But also, and it flips around. But also you can take off, nuts. It's like a 1/4 inch. So I would use this to open up the jacket on a boiler to look at the seams of the cast iron, or I would open up to look at the coil, the A coil of an interior evaporator unit. to look at the fins to see if they're clean or not. So this is kind of fun to use. And it's all in one. It's very lightweight. Volt detector. You know, if it finds voltage, it lights up. Basic ground fault tester. Here's a Tramex moisture meter. Turn it on. It's really cool. Inspector Outlet has these. You can also plug in some probes, but this is a non-invasive moisture detector. You can become a certified moisture inspector as well through InterNACHI at no additional cost once you're a certified member. And you can find these at a very low price. I think it's the lowest in the industry. So if you want to inspect for moisture, it's a really nice tool. I do it when I find any kind of anomaly on a ceiling below a bathroom or on a wall, maybe a finished wall in the basement, or even on the floor. Go right through tile, carpeting, wood. So you set it to what materials, and it's an excellent tool, and it's non-destructive, and it gives that readout. And remember, I'm not really shooting for quantitative results, just going for qualitative results, anomalies. That's why I like the audible sound. It tells me, oh yeah, there's something going on. I don't even want to know the percentage. All I want to know is that there's a potential for something with water. And again, I think the lowest price you can get is on Inspector Outlet for one of these. And here's my ground fault tester and arc fault tester, kind of clumsy, but it's a nice big readout. Obviously, you need a measuring tape. I like to measure the dimensions of the floor joists or the ceiling rafters or some spans at the deck. Hook your flashlight to your belt on this. You need a pair of gloves. I don't touch anything on the outside without gloves. Electric panel should have gloves. I'm not talking high voltage stuff, just some kind of rubber in between you and everything else. Another moisture meter with probes. There's a protometer. And my latest favorite tool is an attachment that goes on my iPhone. And this is an infrared camera. And if you've subscribed to our channel or been around InterNACHI's Google page or YouTube, you'll see some training videos with this, some demonstration videos. This is actually an infrared camera built by FLIR. It was $350, and this is probably going to change the industry. In 5 years, everybody will have infrared at their fingertips. And you can become infrared certified through InterNACHI as well. Those are some of the cool tools that I have at my disposal, but you need a flashlight, knee pads, crawl gear with a K, makes a really great tool to move through low underfloor crawl spaces. And the other tool that you may not think is a tool, but I do, is a shirt. You can get this from Inspector Outlet. It's an InterNACHI shirt. A lot of inspectors put their name, business name, on the back of the shirt. But I don't. See, I came from Philly, and if you go to a property early and someone doesn't know who you are or identifies you, you know, it could be some serious consequences. You can't just be walking around someone's property and not identify yourself. So on the back of our inspectors, we had this to make sure that everyone knew that we're an inspector. And usually they give pause and consideration, and they just assume you must be doing something instead of some stranger wearing a dark uniform with a flashlight walking around. So I want to identify myself, because I typically, my brand of business is to get there early. Where I come from, if you show up on time, you're late. So you got to get there early. So actually, this is probably one of the most affordable and important tools you can have. And this is from Inspector Outlet as well. Inspector Outlet, one word, .com. To perform a home inspection, you got to perform it to a standards of practice. So NACHI's standards of practice is at nachi.org SOP. You really should go there because it's a live document. That means it changes according to industry changes. And it's kind of broken up in really nice sections. So we have roof, exterior, basement, foundation, crawl space structure, heating, cooling. So you click through them, and you get to refer mentally and visually and electronically the standards by which you practice your home inspection. So you have to tell your client that you perform your home inspection according to a standard. You have to set that expectation. And NACHI's standards of practice is an international standards of practice for performing a general home inspection. And it has been written and reviewed by InterNACHI's legal counsel. Mark Cohn is actually available for questions. And you need to refer to these standards within your home inspection agreement, the agreement, contractual agreement between you and your client, and have it a live link so that they go to the standards of practice that has not been summarized and printed in some document that you have, but it's actually linked out to the live updated document. That's really important. So when the standards change, your clients have been notified of the change because they read the standards prior to hiring you. All right, let's do a home inspection. Can everybody hear me? All right, good. Oh, I have a question. Charles asks, what camera do you use for your pictures and videos in your reports? Nowadays, I would use the mobile device, a Droid, an iPhone, iPad, tablet. I would use that to take my pictures and videos. You know, this is probably one of the most accurate, powerful cameras and video cameras you have. This is my little iPhone, right? But it's kind of hard to hold. My hands are big, came from, you know, building homes, so I have to actually hold some. So the cameras that I bought, I wish I had one, are usually the Canons or the Kodaks because they have a grip on the right side. They have some kind of battery bulge right there. So I like big cameras, and I like to carry two cameras. One for pictures, right hand, one for video, left hand. And I wear a carpenter's pouch. I think it's called a nailing pouch. It has two pouches in the front and something for a tool, one of these guys. Yeah. And this and another tool in my measuring tape. I put all that stuff in my pouches. And the idea is that I take so many pictures, I reduce the size of the pictures, the quality of the pictures to almost its lowest setting. You have to play around with it, see what works. The pictures that I have in these reports and these slides here, they are in the kilobyte size. They're about 130, 150 kilobytes maximum. Don't take megabyte pictures. Some home inspectors are taking pictures that are 2, 5, 8 megabytes. If you're in publishing, yeah, you need high definition pictures, but you are in the business of throwing a lot of low res pictures in a report that's probably not going to be read. You set your camera to low so you can snap, 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 snap hundreds of pictures. Okay, take a lot of pictures, low settings. And I just Googled, I went on Amazon and looked for a digital camera. You can buy one for $49. There's no excuse for not having digital pictures because it's so easy. Digital pictures in your reports because it's so easy and affordable to take pictures and video nowadays. Artur, I hope I didn't mess that name up. Artur asks, should I get a camera for pictures or iPhone is enough? Right, so it's the same thing. I find this kind of bulky, but it takes fantastic pictures and it's very easy to use, especially with the infrared attachment. And but I like the big bulky cameras. You know, I don't know how many cameras I've dropped because they were just too small. So I need something in my hand. Awesome. Okay. So let's do an inspection on a very small townhouse, right? And this is in Pennsylvania, near Philly. So it's cold climate, northern, eastern state. And I get up on the roof. Yep. So I exceed the standards of practice. I exceed the standards of practice for all of my clients. If I can get up on the roof, I get up on the roof. I carry a 40-foot aluminum ladder, 28-foot fiberglass ladder, 12-foot aluminum ladder, step ladders, crawl gear. from the very top to the very bottom, because I came from building homes and installing roofs. I have been trained to walk on roofs, right? So I'm very comfortable. If you are not comfortable, you do not have to get up on any roof. According to the standards, you do not have to walk on any roof, even if it's flat. You don't have to do it. You don't even have to carry a ladder, but you do have to inspect the roof, at least from the ground, if you can, from the eaves, yeah? So I go up on the roof because this is my brand. That is a common picture that I put in my report because I want everyone to know that I walk on the roof. And why do I do that? It's because that is my brand. That's how I distinguish myself from my competition. Those fellas and ladies who are uncomfortable or want to stay to the minimum standard of inspecting a roof and don't go on a roof, well, I move beyond them. That is my unique selling point. If we're all lined up in a state that maybe licenses us all, what makes you different from all the rest? Well, one of my things that I do is I get there early to get up on the roof because I walk on the roof. And I take pictures of the inspection while I'm up there and video while I'm up there. You can't beat me. I'm going to beat you. If you don't go up on a roof, well, you're going to have to figure out how to beat me in the market, because I'm going to tell everyone that I get up on a roof and you don't. That's branding, and that's marketing, yeah? And we help you do that. If you call our marketing team, we actually provide you a little consultation to develop your brand. We guide you, a little questionnaire, and then we help you market your business. We'll design your logo, we'll design your flyers, your business cards, things like that, that communicate your brand and your services. Got some turtle vents, got a little ridge vent. I look at the flashing, make sure there's step flashing, it's installed. I'm taking pictures of every plane of the roof, starting with the ridge, front, back, and then anywhere I walk, and then components. If I come up on a component, I try to group all the components. Any penetration through the roof, sewer pipes, right, vent pipes, maybe satellite dish, chimney, I call that a penetration, any kind of vent, like a dryer vent or a bathroom vent, a powered fan, you know, anything that comes up through the roof. And then I think of water. How does water move? It goes off the roof, runs off, and goes past the drip edge, hopefully it's installed, and into a gutter. And I inspect the gutter, and I take this money shot. That's me inspecting the gutter. That's the front, that's the back. And we have missing gutters because of the architectural design of the home. Yet, you really need a gutter. This is Pennsylvania. It rains all the time, and that is wood damage at the very top there. And there's some soffit vents. So I know I've got soffit vents when I go up in the attic. I have to remember soffit vents at the eaves. I have a ridge vent and some passive vents on the top. And then as I'm moving down to the lower levels, maybe the front porch roof or the back porch roof, I'm looking at the siding now. But I start on the roof. Roof system is where I start. But I have been trained by InterNACHI to think of the whole house approach, which means that you know every system affects all others. They are interdependent upon each other. You affect one, it affects all others in the home. So as I'm moving through the exterior, coming down, thinking of water, I'm going from the roof and I'm thinking siding as well. So I'm looking at the siding windows, maybe the second floor windows that I can't see from the ground surface. This is damaged, deteriorated, old shingles at the front of the house, the mansard roof part of the house on this townhouse. That needs to be replaced. A lot of holes, prone to water penetration, deteriorated. And I take a picture of the money shot, right? That's a brand. That's me. I actually repositioned my ladder just for this shot. If you are going up on a ladder, you understand that the top rungs need to be 3 foot high and it needs to be sloped properly and tied off on the top. But this was just for a photo that I could use in my inspection reports and in my marketing. I get up on roofs. And then I think of downspouts and grading. I'm thinking how water moves. Roof, exterior, all the different components that need to be flashed and sealed properly. And then how is it discharged away from the house? These are window wells. In the northeastern areas, we have basements. Sometimes they're finished, sometimes they're not. And I test every receptacle and I take a picture of it. All receptacles need to be GFCI protected. I take a look at the front door. I inspect all the doors, all the steps, stoops, sidewalks, ramps, handrails, doors. Here's some concrete steps without a handrail. I call that out. That bottom one has been sloped. They're all slightly sloped. This one is significantly sloped. It's really a trip hazard. Then I test all of the water faucets. I'm thinking of components of the exterior, not just the exterior siding, but components within the exterior. And when there's a component, there's usually a penetration. So I'm looking for signs of water intrusion as well through that area. Could be electric lines or water lines commonly. And this is a frost. This is not a frost-free hose bib. So in northern climates, all water spigots, hose bibs on the outside need to be frost-proof. You turn the outside valve. There's a stem that goes and turns off the water on the inside of the house where it's warm, and then it drains out and it doesn't freeze and burst. Water meter. Some settlement cracks. I'm not very concerned about it. It's at the corner. And then I take a look at the parking. So I'm all the way out where you park, and I'm inspecting back and forth, making sure everything's graded away, making sure the walks are right. All the walks, especially if they're hard surface walks, need to be sloped away slightly. And all the steps need to be safe. And then I take big pictures. So I take big pictures of a system, and you'll see, I head towards components of that system. And the component on the backside are the gutters. So the straps on the gutters are loose. I didn't do it. That one's missing. That one's damaged. Minor things, really, but they need to be fixed. This downspout is discharging a ton of water, 1,000 gallons in a heavy rainstorm in Pennsylvania, right next to the house foundation. And I know that we have a basement. So I'm thinking water penetration. All downspouts need to be diverting water away from the house. Here's the grading, somewhat flat. Bilco doors, steel doors that you open up from the outside and it leads you down into the basement. They need to be watertight and in good shape. Sometimes there's rust. There's the clean out and vents, house trap. That's a post. So I use my inspection tool that I mentioned earlier, pull it out, and it's now my probe, right, for water damage at the bottom of the post. And I take pictures as well. My hand's usually in every picture to give it scale, because I'm trying to communicate to typically first-time home buyers, and they have no idea about anything. So I want my reports to be clearly understood, easy to read, clear to understand. So a lot of pictures of just about everything that I inspect and touch. I take a picture of it. Dryer vent, obviously, problem. Storm door retractor missing. Small component, a light fixture cover is missing of some kind. No one's going to get me. I'm going to take a picture of everything of the house. And I give my clients all the pictures and all the videos that I take. I take pictures of everything and I give everything to my clients. And I make sure that my competition knows that. Well, if they're spying on my marketing or something, they'll know it. But I want to make sure that I'm different from all my competition. Another way is to actually provide, not hold back, but to give all of the digital pictures and videos that I take during inspection to my clients. I used to burn them to a CD. You can use a USB flash drive or just include them in a web-based report now. Electric meter, make sure it's attached to the house well, no damage. Follow the electric service line to the breaker panel. And the sheath on this house is damaged. It's old, it's probably 20, 30 years old, and the outer protective coating sheath is damaged. This is an electrical hazard. And it also is a water entry point. So water tends to find this line and go into the basement, travel through that exterior envelope, right? And go into maybe the electrical panel. And you can see I'm following how water flows. I went from meter to line to penetration through the wall. I'm down to the ground now. This is the grounding wire from the panel to the rod. Heat pump. So I'm on the exterior, but now I have to inspect different systems. I do this easily with mobile software devices, like a Droid or an iPad. And if you buy the right software, like HomeGauge or Home Inspector Pro from Inspector Outlet with an exclusive discount for InterNACHI members, you should be writing as you go. That's the one way. I've been around the country. I've talked to all of the inspectors. That's one way that people increase their efficiency and their quality of the inspection, and they reduce the time that it takes. So it seems to be the way to do it. And it also, I did it this way because years ago I had little kids and I didn't want to spend time at home writing reports. I wanted to be done with my work at the end of the day. And you only can do that with a mobile device, and you write as you inspect. And that's a brand idea. So I made sure that my brand was different from all the rest who are using pencil and paper checklists, NCR forms, or writing reports and emailing it the next day. Nope. For me, if you hire me, I'm going to write the report as I go so that at the end of the inspection, I click a button and you get a report. It's that fast when you're doing a mobile device. But better than that, remember I go up on the roof first? I don't step on my ladder until I'm done inspecting the roof and writing everything about the roof and taking pictures and video of the roof. I can't move. I'm not allowed to do the exterior down below or any other system until I'm done with that system. And so once I get on that ladder and I come down, I know I'm down one system. I've got roughly 9, 10 to go. When I'm doing the exterior, my client comes with me. I take my client around. I talk about what I saw on the roof, because my client doesn't go up on the roof. And I take them around the exterior. We look at the big systems, some of the components, identify some of the big stuff. I say to my client, I'll see you later. I'm going to type my comments in. It's going to be about 10 minutes. I'll see you inside, and then we'll do the heating system or basement next. But don't worry about it. I'll find you. I push my client into the home. They're looking at curtains and measuring and thinking about renovations and stuff like that. And I'm doing the exterior now, very slowly. I have a pattern. I go counterclockwise for some reason. Maybe you go clockwise. Do the same pattern and look at the same systems. Remember, I go back and forth looking at how water moves and how the sidewalks are. And I'm writing as I go. And I'm taking pictures as I go, right? So I'm going around the house taking pictures of everything, picture. And then I get my mobile device and I go, dun, 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 and like in a few seconds, I'm done with that system. I can now go in and move on. I'm done with that report, essentially, of those systems, yeah? Because I'm doing mobile device, using a mobile device. And I can't forget anything because I'm taking pictures of everything. Look, perfect focus on the manufacturing label. See the size, BTUs, the year, everything, amps, the condition. So system and then components, system and then components. System is this picture, is the system picture, and then go to components. Manufacturing label, the fins, operation, is it vibrating, how's it feel, temperature relative to my hand. Shut off, electric shut off, interior shut off. Now I'm on the inside in the basement. I'm doing the big systems first, heating system. My clients like to follow me down in the basement and I do the heating system, the electrical panel, the hot water source, and by that time, they're kind of bored and they wander away and I'm free to do the rest. I hit the big systems, most difficult systems first. And if my client has their uncle with them, I'm trying to impress the uncle. So if the uncle goes, you hired the right inspector, let him go. So I'm trying to do the most difficult things first. That's how I think. So taking pictures, the condensate drain, really, I don't like the condensate drain to drain anywhere other than in a drain. This one is discharging at the perimeter trench around. This is something common, especially in the East Coast. You dump water in the inside of a basement. It's incredible what builders get away with. There's rust on the bottom of this heat pump. It's a newer heat pump, you could tell. But the filter has not been changed. That's the manufacturing filter that was installed when it was installed new as a new heat pump. So that needs to be replaced. It has no efficiency at all. So there's an indoor air quality problem. It's clogged, so now your heating, cooling costs are going up. And it's not performing very well because the inefficient, dirty, clogged air filter. So the second floor bedrooms probably aren't getting the supplied air that they are designed to get. So this one filter, this one component affects many different systems, including indoor air quality and comfort. There's the electrical panel. Remember, system, then component. That's how I inspect. This is the electrical panel, take a picture, and then break it down into the system, components of the system. And I usually have my hand in a picture, and that is a code for me. I know that shut-off switch is 150 amps because one finger is 100, two fingers is 200. In between, that's 150. I take a picture of all the breakers to make sure that they are all on, or if there are any off, I want to identify it before I start probing or looking at stuff or fiddling with things, right? Especially if I'm going to take the dead front cover off. I want to identify all of the breakers that are in the on position and any tripped off breakers. And if there are any breakers that are manually turned off, great, I'm going to take a picture of that. I won't turn it back on, especially if it's been popped. If there's a popped breaker, absolutely you don't reset it. Somebody could get hurt. I test the ground faults and the arc faults. This is a few years back, so there's only one ground fault in this electrical panel. There are no arc faults installed in this house. And some of the breakers are labeled. Some are not. Some newer wiring down in the basement. This basement was partially finished, so there's a new wire I can see installed. So that gives me pause. I wonder what they did with this new wire. And they simply double tapped it right at that breaker. So now you have two 15 amp circuits going into a 14 gauge wires going into a 15 amp circuit. To finish the basement, they just stuck it in there into the 15 amp breaker. And it's for a bedroom. So it's labeled bedroom, but it's actually, they stuck the basement circuit in there because they're trying to finish the basement. So I identified that. Just looking for anything that I don't like. Really don't like the neutral and grounding wires connected under the same nut, but that's okay. Move on. Looking for anything, really. I did find water, though. See the water drops? That's probably coming from that deteriorated sheath on the outside. And hot water source. But we do have questions. When you first began your inspection business, did you find some realtors who would not use you because you were so thorough? How did you overcome this? Bill asks. Oh, I really didn't care what real estate agents thought of me. All I cared about was my client because they are the ones with the money. And so I sometimes had to fire real estate agents because they were so, they wanted to control the situation. So very few real estate agents push home inspectors to the point of breaking, right? Where there's a really hard conflict. You just have to realize that a real estate agent is a professional, licensed professional, and they have one goal in mind, to take care of their client. And sometimes that comes out wrong. And so as a professional, some of you are licensed, half of you are licensed. You're another professional. And you have to deal with other professionals in this industry. And you have to explain what your goal is to the real estate agent or the person who's giving you problems. The least thing you want to do, the absolute worst thing you want to do is compromise your integrity and do something that you typically don't do, but on this special occasion, because some somebody asked you to. You're gonna fudge a little bit or get soft. I never held back any punches. I threw as hard as I could. I love to find defects. And I pitched it in a way that was acceptable, negotiable, easily entreated, easily understood. I said it with a smile. I don't care what I found in the house. I said it with a smile, and just about anything could be fixed within reason. Sometimes the material defects that I find are somewhat large. Those happen on old homes. Typically, on average, there's nothing really that I could say that would kill the deal. That's the phrase, right? You're going to kill the deal. There's really nothing. I don't think I've ever actually had killed a deal, even though I never. I was totally thorough. I never held back. So there's really no risk involved. Be as hard as you can. Be as thorough as you want. Be as detailed as you want. Your client is going to value that. Your potential clients are going to value that. And eventually, you'll win over the body of real estate agent professionals that you want to work with. The agents that I worked with understood what I was doing. I would pull them aside and explain what I'm doing. I'm being very thorough here. I'm not one of your patty cake inspectors. So you may not want to hire me or recommend me. That would be great. You know, if somebody doesn't want to deal with me, I want to know that so that we don't come in contact with each other. I want to find people who are interested in my services the way I do them. This is a great business because if you can brand yourself in the way you want and present it, you can find your niche. It all depends on how well you brand yourself and market yourself. And for me, I was very thorough. Obviously, by the end, we're going too slow. We should be really flying by now. But yeah, I was always very thorough, and I could care less what other people think other than my client. There's really hardly anything you could say, I think. Hardly anything I could say that would kill the deal. So why be soft? Sean, do you put arrows and circles on your pictures indicating defects into your inspection report? I used to. And then I realized that no one really values that. I certainly don't. I know what I'm looking at. So what I really do is, to be efficient, I use my finger, my actual finger. And it gives scale, and it shows that I'm actually being very detailed. You know, looks like I'm working really hard. Click, give scale, and that's my arrow. Yeah, I know a lot of softwares have all that stuff. The circles and the arrows and the text and the captions and all that stuff. How much time do you think, Bob says, how much time do you think you add completing a software program on site versus doing afterwards? Oh, I know that I was faster. I did 2 home inspections a day. First one at 8 o'clock, the next one at 12 o'clock. 8 o'clock, I get there a little early. 8 o'clock, by 10:30, I know that I got to be out of here by 11 to get to my next one, 12 o'clock early. And it always worked, because at the end of the inspection, I'd print out a summary sheet. I'd actually bring a printer in so I can print out a summary sheet, 2-3-page summary sheet. And then I'd ask my client, if you want to wait for 30 minutes or so, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I can add photos to the report that I used, you know, make sure all the photos are in. And I can print out the whole report, which is about 50 to 60 pages. They usually said no. All they really wanted was a complete report the next day at the latest, but a summary, so that a summary right after the inspection, so that they can start negotiating. I wish I could be paid to stay 8 hours. I wish we all could be paid. We should all be earning about $1,000, $1,500 an inspection, right? And spending all day with our clients. But that's not where we are. We have about 3 or 4 hours. That's what it's expected. And something to give to your client. I gave a summary report, copy to their agent so that he or she could start negotiating, and a copy to my client so that they can understand the actual problems that need to be addressed prior to moving in. And those two got together on my summary sheet and made the deal go through. And then later on, they got a report, a full report. I was fast. It's the only way I can, I don't know how you can provide a full report at the end of the inspection without going mobile. You have to remember everything. How can you remember everything in your report? How can you remember all the things that you found on the roof 2.5 hours ago? So I write as maybe you can, but I write as I go. Let's see. Derek says, Frank, anything above a rise and run, I think my name is Ben, or maybe you're addressing someone else. Frank, anything above a rise and run of 412 slope of a roof is usually too dangerous, depends on the inspector. Yeah, yep, 212, 412 is right in the middle. 612 is probably a max. You know, I don't go above 612, although I just tend to luck out and I find a valley, you know, where two planes come together, and that's a lower slope. Even though this is 612, I think the valley would be 412, so you crawl up the valley. Right, but don't get on the roof. You're not required to by the standards. And if that's not who you are, if you're not trained, if you're uncomfortable, don't you dare get up on the roof, because you can fall from 2 rungs of a ladder and seriously injure yourself. That's just falling 2 rungs of a ladder. Imagine falling off a roof. So don't go up on a roof. That's my recommendation. Follow the standards of practice. I was trained, I came from building homes. So it just was natural. I was trained to do it. So Frank, I understand. Frank says, at what pitch do you stop walking on the roof? 612, 712, that's about it. There are boots I have around here somewhere called crawl. No, it's not crawl gear. Paws, cougar paws. But, you know, I just use soft-soled shoes, sneakers. I think if I had some kind of special shoe, it would, you know, have me, I would want to go up on steeper slopes. So I don't do steep slopes, but most of the homes that I inspect were 612 at most. Where are we? We got to start flying here. Hot water tank, taking pictures of components, water shutoff valve, electrical components, missing discharge pipe at the TPR valve. And then I think about, so that's a hot water source. Then I think about other systems. I do sewer, drain, waste, vent. And then I do water supply coming in. So it's roof, exterior, heating, cooling, electrical, hot water, drain, water supply coming in. And I'm looking for water leaks or anything, damage, anything at all. While I'm looking at the vent pipes, sewer pipes, as a clean out right there, and that's the water coming in, I'm looking at other things as well, other components and systems that are interdependent with the water lines. And while I'm looking at the water shutoff valve, I stick my head behind the finished wall in the basement and I take a look at the foundation wall. I'm looking for structural problems, water penetration, or trying to demonstrate inspection restrictions and limitations. Nothing says an inspection restriction like a digital picture. And then a moisture meter. So this is an extendable, they don't make them anymore, I can't find them. It was an extendable pole, 3 feet with 2 prongs. It's kind of like this protometer, yeah, but it was on a stick. And it had a light and a sound, audible sound. It was really good. So I went around the carpeting and I could probe through the carpeting and the padding without damaging anything. Just to look for, I'm not quantitative, I'm not a quantitative inspector, qualitative. I'm looking for anything that turns red or beeps. And the electric receptacles, windows, there's my 3-tine hoe to move insulation and probe around. 3-tine hoe, 3 tines. One was straight, one was slightly curved, and one was really curved. And it's extendable, so I can reach up. Document unfinished work in the basement. And there was a lot of destruction and construction and unfinished work in the basement. And even electric lines that were twisted up, live electric lines. So I'm taking pictures of everything that I can inspect, and areas of systems, components that tend to have water intrusion. I focus a lot on water penetration, water intrusion, just where I come from. Even now, I live in Colorado. Water intrusion, moisture, condensation, mold are concerns, even in a semi-arid area. And also indoor air quality stuff. I know these paint cans are probably going to leave, but maybe we can talk about VOCs with my client. Pulling back things that I can move to see what's behind them. I tend to move very heavy objects down in the basement just slightly to just get my flashlight back there and see what's going on. Don't want anything hidden. A couple times somebody was trying to hide things from me. No big deal. I found it. Taking pictures. A lot of restrictions, right? Can't see really what's going on with the floor. Plywood. The joists are covered. The band rim joists are covered. Ductwork is covered. A lot of construction going on. Loose ductwork, loose electrical wiring, hazardous things going on with the wiring. Unprofessional-like workmanship is the phrase I use. Should be further evaluated, inspected and further evaluated by a licensed electrician. And then I'm in the attic, and I know the condition of the roof, so now I'm thinking water. I got to think of water. Was the roof replaced? Did it do any water damage, any structural damage, any condensation? That is a concern. That's a bathroom fan exhausting, second floor bathroom exhaust fan blowing into the attic. That has to be exhausted outside. And that's beyond the roof or the walls. Structure looks good. A firewall in between the units. The insulation looks great. However, it's only 5 inches thick. Don't know why. That's much less than half of what I expect. So I'm going to tag that. And so there's a couple things you can think of when you're doing a whole house approach. The insulation affects the comfort level in the home. The second floor is going to be a different climate than the rest of the home. And the second floor bedrooms, a common complaint would be that the second floor bedrooms are hot in the summertime and cold in the wintertime. And the heating system just can't seem to catch up, right? And then the attic access, there's a few things about this. It forces the heating and cooling system to work harder because there's energy loss through this. So this attic access from the second floor ceiling bedroom into the attic is not sealed, it's not insulated. It's just a piece of plywood or drywall with watermarks from an old roof that leaked, or maybe condensation that was dripping from the roof nails and roof components, right? It left watermarks because we have warm, moist air from the bathroom being exhausted into the attic space. We have an old home that probably has not been air sealed, so it's leaking air, right? It's not airtight, and there's a hole essentially in the ceiling, and it's like having an open duct on the heating system blowing directly outside, like 100 feet per minute, 100 cubic feet per minute, just blowing through this unsealed, uninsulated attic access. It forces the heating system to run, a heating and cooling system to run more, and it's also uncomfortable in the second floor. It's drafty and it's cold. The rooms are cold, and it could be a safety issue because there's so much stack effect. Maybe if the hot water tank wasn't electric, but it was a natural draft, there could be a drafting problem. So systems in a house are interdependent. They affect one another. So if you're inspecting the attic for insulation, you're able to comment upon multiple other systems in the home. And we train you upon these things as well. HVAC, energy efficiency, indoor air comfort, energy movement, moisture intrusion. All of these training courses are online through InterNACHI. And so when I'm in the interior, I'm basically now like flying through the home because the easy stuff is ahead. But one of the things that I do in order to beat my clients, because this is one of the things that brands me, is that I check the ductwork. I stick my hand in every duct, in one duct in every home to see if it's clean. And this one obviously isn't. And my clients really are always surprised that I did this and showed them that the ductwork is not clean. And then they try to negotiate to get the ducts cleaned prior to moving in. And this is an indoor air quality issue. It's an efficiency issue. It's a lot of things. Windows, doors, receptacles, the inspection restrictions. I can't see what's going on there. Also, the closet doors are missing, and there's a watermark above the closet door opening, and there it is. It's actually not a watermark, it's a paint mark. So they painted something. Maybe they patched the drywall, I don't know. But I'm looking at all the ceilings actually using my Tramex moisture meter, looking at anomalies, seeing if it's wet or dry, and asking the homeowner through my report to explain what is going on here. Flush all the toilets, run all the sinks, open up plumbing access panels. If there's a plumbing access panel, I open it up. If there isn't a plumbing access panel, especially behind the tub and shower, I comment on it and recommend one to be installed. Why? Because 9 out of 10 times, there's a water leak. It really is. It could be a very small drip that no one knows about because no one's ever opened that plumbing access panel. That's what it's for. Not just for fixing leaks, but to finding them. Doors, windows, interior, floors, ceilings, you know what to do. Here's a half bath in the first floor. Flush the toilet, run the sink, take a picture of the drain pipe and the valves and the supply lines, test the receptacles for GFCI protection. Where is that bathroom fan going? I didn't see it on the outside. On the outside, remember, we had a dryer vent hood that was loose. No other exhausts. We have the second floor bathroom exhausting into the attic inappropriately. So where's this going? All bathroom fans should be exhausting outside. If I find anything that's damaged during the home inspection, I take a picture of it. I found this chair damaged. I don't know who damaged it. It wasn't me. So I put it in the report. CYA, right? There's a laundry system, the window in the laundry, outlet. You know, in my report, I describe the outlet and whether it's used or not. Have something plugged into it or not. And then there's the water at the laundry tub. And there's actually a leak at the drain pipe of the tub, at the trap that I don't like. Water lines, missing GFCI. And then the rest. Get to the kitchen. The kitchen's the last system, right? And run water at the sink, ground fault. I mean, looking for ground faults, but this is the sink aerator. And I want a clamp at the bottom where the electric line comes in contact with the motor of the garbage disposal unit. And all the receptacles need to be GFCI protected, and they are not in this house. I run a short cycle at the dishwasher. I open it up, look for damage, pull out the things, the sliders, the trays, and then I turn on the heating elements. It's nice when I get all 4 burners to glow for the picture. I stick my hand in the oven, test that. Nothing quantitative. I'm not taking measurements. In Pennsylvania, it's not required. And this microwave hood is venting, circulating into the bathroom, into the kitchen. And it really should be exhausting outside. And there's the microwave detector. You can get that from Inspector Outlet. It glows red hot, not temperature-wise, just glows when it gets hit by microwaves. And there's that ceiling below the second floor bathroom. Remember the plumbing access panel? You pulled it off and it was leaking. Well, I get my infrared camera out and just to confirm that it's, I don't want to probe anything and put 2 holes in the ceiling. So I take my infrared camera out and take a picture of it. Nowadays, I would use my infrared camera from FLIR that goes on my iPhone. slip the iPhone on, and it's an infrared camera. And that's the picture. Any questions? Those are the pictures. We can go through the report next. Here's a question from Andrew. Do you always go from the basement to the attic? Yeah, and I think that's climate specific, where you're from, depending on the homes that you inspect. So for me, in Pennsylvania, most homes had basements. All of them probably did. And they could have a crawl space in addition to a basement. So what I do is my procedure of doing a home inspection is the same for every home that I'm inspecting, even if it's a mobile home or a big commercial building. Roof first, most dangerous and most fun. And you do that prior to my client showing up. So I get there early and I get up on the roof and I do my inspections. I'm taking pictures, I'm taking videos, I'm writing my report. And just about that time, my client pulls up in the driveway, looks up, sees me already inspecting. I wave down at them, and I want them to know that they've hired the right inspector. That's my brand. I get up on the roof. I inspect roofs by walking on them, by getting really close to every system component on the roof. I do that first. And then I greet the first impression that my client actually gets is seeing me up on the roof. And I come down and I shake their hand, give them a business card, and we do the exterior, and then I bring them in. The next thing that's most important to my client, for me, is the tough stuff that I have to explain. I have to explain the heating system. And in northern climates, Northeast, we had things like boilers, which had oil for fuel, and it rumbled, and there's fire and flames. Amazing big stuff. So that's the stuff I want to teach my client. I want my client with me for the big stuff. So I want to do the heating and cooling system. And I just want to explain the roof, explain the exterior, maybe show them a couple things on the outside, and then get to the heating and cooling system. And then the electrical system, I tell them to stand back. I don't want anybody near me when I'm doing the electrical system, but I'll show them the breakers. And then the hot water source, wherever that is, whatever system that is. And then the sewer lines going out, water supply line coming in, maybe the shutoff valve, main water shutoff valve. Everybody asks that. Most home buyers don't know what to ask. So you kind of have to tell them the important stuff so that they feel comfortable in asking questions, silly questions, but good ones, right? I even give out a list of questions to ask your home inspector so that they can come with questions to ask. Where is the main water shutoff valve? They don't even know what that is. I'm going to show them what that is and where it is. By that time, I'm in the basement doing the big systems. By that time, they're basically done. They're overwhelmed, you know, and they've had enough information. And they understand that they've hired the right inspector. And I'll see you later up in the living room or the bedroom, and I'll find you. If I see something wrong, I'll definitely come and find you, and I'll show it to you. But I'll see you in a moment. And they'll go upstairs and they'll do their measurements and things like that. And I'm downstairs. I've got really one more system to do, which is foundation. And that includes a lot of things, all the other components in the basement, but also water intrusion. So I'm looking for water penetration into the basement. So I go from basement, and then I go right up into the attic. I bypass all the clean stuff, and I get to the attic. And to get into the attic is this messy thing. So I bought a piece of cloth, big 6x6 piece of cloth that looked like a picnic blanket. And I draped it on the floor, and then I got another one, and I draped it on the closet, because usually you go through an attic access that's in the ceiling of a closet, bedroom closet. So if there's anything that's falling down from the attic, I have my clean picnic blankets catching them, you know? So it's a consideration for others. So I go up in the attic. No one follows me up there. I'm going up in there, and I'm doing my inspections just like I did in our review here. And then I come down and I tell them what I find in the attic space. And then it's easy stuff. It's easier from there on. I can see where I'm at, you know, in my systems. I got bathrooms, interior, kitchen, attached garage. Done. Yeah? So I always do the same pattern. So Brian asks, when you inspect, do you use system by system or room by room? Right. I don't know how Home Inspector Pro has it set up, but Home Gauge, I think you have an option of doing system by system in your categories in your report, or room by room. Mine's really a combination, as you can tell, right? I did roof system, exterior system, and then I went down in a basement. That's kind of like a room. But I did the systems down there, system. I don't care where the heater actually is. It could be in the attic. So I want the heating system. But then I go into the attic. I guess that would be a room or a system. I'm not sure, but that's a room system. And then you go down in the interior. The interior includes a lot of rooms, but I group it under interior, right? It's all the windows, the doors, the floors, even the cabinetry. That may be around in the hallway or something like that. Fixtures, receptacles, handrails, steps, all the interior stuff, and windows and doors. And then bathrooms. So I group all the bathrooms into one category. So second floor, master bath, second floor, hall bath, second floor, additional bath. Usually, you don't have 4 bathrooms upstairs, but my inspections, most 3 bathrooms upstairs. Then it's first floor. There could be a first floor full bath, maybe inside a master bedroom, but it's usually a hallway, half bath. But I group all the bathrooms under one category. I guess on a lot of rooms and under one category. And then kitchen is a system or a room by itself with different components in it. The garage is a separate animal. Detached garage, carports, attached garage. That's a room, if you want to categorize it. It's a system. For me, I think of systems with components inside, because that's how I inspect, and that's how I think, and that's how I think things actually function in that way. They function as systems. A bathroom is a system of components. There's a lot of water, there's a lot of electricity, and there's air and moisture and condensation. Those are the things that are going on in that system. So that's how I think of it. Hope that made some kind of sense. Andrew says, do you ever use an inspection camera or scope to look into ducts or drains? No. We have a video, an inspection video on sewer scopes, and they are amazing tools. And I think if I was trained on it and I had the tool, I would get into that. Maybe for older homes, looking for the lateral to the street where the front yard may have trees. I think I would love to do that. Maybe throw down one of those 360 cameras down a chimney, a masonry chimney, to look at the flue liners. But if I could, I would use my digital camera and my eyes and my flashlight to look into flue connections, maybe from the combustion appliance, the heating system, the flue connection to the chimney. I would try to, maybe through the clean out. I even stuck my camera in the clean out to take a picture of the chimney, masonry chimney going up. If I'm on the roof, I take a picture of the flue going down. Even if there's a spark arrestor or a cap or a screen, I take that off. 20% of the time there's a huge hole or major problem in the flue. So I want to catch that. And I'm trained to do that, and so I can do that. What was the question? Do you ever use an inspection camera? Oh yeah, so no. So I don't do ducts or drains, but I probably would. I would have to figure out if that's part of my business model. Can I fit it into my 3-hour and home inspection and still make profit? Would I charge extra for it? Would I include it with every inspection? Would I only bring it out at certain times? I have to get paid for every service that you add on. So my core service is a home inspection, and I added on energy, and I added on my infrared, and I bumped up the price of my home inspection. I included a lot of things. Home maintenance book, I added on that. I would add on a free WDO inspection on some homes. I would package a lot of things onto my home inspection. So my base price for the absolute minimum to get me out of my living room and into someone else's home was $396 minimum. I don't care what the size is. And then we added things on. If it's a bigger home, if it's an older home, we charge more. And if there's other services, it's really your call. You have to figure out your business model. Do you want to increase the price of your home inspection and have added value, even services onto it? Or do you want to a la carte it, have a base price for your home inspection, and then for $50 more you get this, and for $100 more you get that, and you know, so it's your business plan, it's your business model. And if you don't know what a business plan is, we have a home inspection business course. And if you have trouble trying to figure out how should I price my services, that's a huge question that I get a lot. How do you price your services? Are you guessing? Did you guess? Did you look at other inspectors and say, yeah, that's about what I want to make, around there? That's inappropriate. That's not inappropriate. That's incorrect, right? There's a way to properly price your services, and it uses basic math, and it includes how much profit you want to make, right? So that is how you calculate your fees and your services, because they go together. What services do you provide for how much money you're going to make? You know, so we have a home inspection business course that helps you price your services. And when you think about pricing your services, you have to think about, well, what are my services? Maybe I can only do home inspections because I'm new and it takes me a long time. I can't really do other things because it's just too difficult for me. Maybe that's it. And your business model is dynamic. It grows as you grow in your confidence and in your services. Jean Wemail. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but do you think it's a good idea to present the report as a list of systems, rooms, and components listed by alphabetical order? No, there's no alphabetical order. That means nothing. I would, in my report would reflect how I actually inspected, because I want my client with me, and they would maybe read the report as if that was a summary. Oh, that's exactly how we inspected the home. Oh yeah, I remember going through the house that way. And they read the report that way. That's how I handle it. Nothing alphabetical. We are way past 1 hour. So what we're going to do is finish up this home inspection, and we're going to do the report. So we can take a look at the report next. And then I think there's a video. So one of the things that I used in my inspection reports to be concise are phrases, so that if I say something in my inspection report, I'm not sure if my client understands if this is good or bad, or what action they should take. So I broke it up into 3 things. One is monitoring. Monitoring recommended means a system or component needing further evaluation and close observation in order to determine if correction is needed. So I see something here. Just take a look at it, watch it. Second phrase I used was improvement and repair recommended, which means this is something wrong, but a homeowner can fix it. Most homeowners on average can fix this, like a light bulb or a smoke detector or battery or something. Correction and further evaluation recommended is a phrase I used for something that is significantly deficient or at the end of its service life and needs correction, and by a professional. And I say that we recommend the professional making any corrective action to inspect the property further evaluation, in order to discover and repair related problems that were not identified in the report. All corrections and evaluations must be made prior to closing or purchasing the property. So if I say that there's a water leak from the second floor bathroom drain that I observed from the plumbing access panel, remember that in the report? And I took a picture of it. Well, I want the contractor who comes in to look at other things. Maybe it actually wasn't the drain pipe of the tub, but it was a hole in the tub. Maybe I got it confused. There's a leak, but I'm misdiagnosed. I want that contractor to further investigate. They're going to cut the drywall open, drop that plaster down and look underneath the tub and see what's going on, right? That's what they're going to do. That's what I'm recommending. Further evaluation, because I may have missed something. There may be a drip coming from the shower head through the wall where the shower stem connects, threads in. It could be dripping there. This happened before. And it looks like it's a leak from below the tub, but it's actually coming from above my head, the shower head, right? Misdiagnosed slightly. I identified that there's a problem. I asked the seller in my report, my client, recommended my client to get it corrected and further evaluated by a professional so that other defects, if they exist, can be discovered. That has really helped me out in the past. Don't specifically diagnose, make recommendations for correction and further evaluation. That's a pretty good idea. Let someone else tear open the wall, for example, and find things that were not visible during the inspection. Couldn't see any indications of things that were hidden, right? Let them find them. So here's my report. You'll see that I have very few words, but a lot of pictures. And anything that I recommend is in red. If I recommend improvement, it's red. Correction and further evaluation is red. And there's the exterior, there's the components. So for the exterior, it starts with house wall covering. So I identify the coverings, I take pictures of the coverings, and I look for problems with the coverings. And the exterior wood has some damage to it. The driveway is a component of the exterior. The walks, the steps and handrails, remember the walk is off by a few degrees, trip hazard. Exterior water faucets are not frost-free. More components of the exterior. So my report is system and then components. Exterior receptacles, I got pictures of them. Dryer vent hood. There's that missing storm door retractor, missing light fixture. And then there's the heat pump system. Break it down to components, the electrical shutoff switch, estimated age, the thermostat, condensate drainage, electric coil, air filter, estimated age, service record. There wasn't any service record. Any observations, other observations. It was a finished basement, so the finished basement wasn't actually heated or cooled by the heating cooling system. There was dirty ducts, and there was inspection restrictions. So system and component. Plumbing system. Pictures of the plumbing pipes. Remember these black pipes, ABS pipes going out, water supply coming in, main water shutoff valve near the meter, check valve, missing pressure tank at the water heater because there's a check valve coming in. Water heater heats up. Water expands when it gets warm, pushes against the check valve. So it needs an expansion tank to relieve that pressure. Electrical hot water heater is a system, hot water source, electric hot water heater. Identify the fuel type, the size, the age, the electrical connections, the water shutoff valve and connections, the TPR valve, and a water leak catch pan that was missing. System, electrical system, the meter on the outside, meter condition, the grounding on the outside, the main electrical service line, which needs to be replaced. And then the panel that's connected to the system, right? Panel is like a system within the electrical system. The breakers, main disconnect, breaker labeling, wiring type, circuit breakers, panel interior, inspection sticker, and then the other electrical problems I found. Again, structure is a system. So I break it down into components. There's the attic system, method of evaluation, framing, water penetration, bathroom fans, insulation, missing insulation, thickness, and then bathrooms, interior, kitchen. Yep. So I also have a conclusion paragraph, and I tell my client about pre-closing walkthroughs. In my report, a walkthrough is that time prior to closing, to signing your line, signing your name on the line. I tell my client that I am available for hire to walk through the home because the condition of the home can change significantly from my home inspection to the time of closing. There's a lot of time in between. Could be as little as a week, but could be as long as months. And a lot of things can happen between then. And I want to tell my client, I can come around again and go through the house. Or you could decline that service And so that gives them an opportunity to think, maybe we should, just before closing, have Ben go through one more time. And I would either do it for free or for an extra charge. And also leave a letter on the kitchen counter with my business card and maybe a little lunchbox marketing piece that we sell. And it tells the seller that I was as considerate as possible. I was careful as possible, but I wanted to make sure that I tell them I inspect at least 500 things in the home. So that's why all the curtains are moved, all the windows seem to be opened and closed, all the doors. I try to put everything back, but there are some things you want to check. Thermostat, GFCIs, AFCIs, refrigerator, clocks, freezers that may have tripped off, kitchen appliances, doors, coffee makers, and curtains. I try to put all that stuff back. And I tell them that all of my inspectors wear indoor shoes only. So if there's a foot mark, it wasn't us. So that is our inspection. So we did a full home inspection. We did about 74 slides, about 250 images of the inspection report. We could go on, but I think we have run out of time. I promised you at least an hour, and we've gone over an hour and 20 minutes. So we have more to do. We could do another inspection next time. But if you have any questions, let's go over them now while we're here. Here's one from Home Professional Services, Inc. It says, "Hi, Ben, did you get any discount from vehicle manufacturers for inspectors?" No, we're still working on that. That's a work in progress. So we'll announce that. Make sure you are subscribed to our monthly newsletter, because we put all the good stuff that we do every month in the monthly newsletter. So make sure you're subscribed to that so you don't miss out on anything. Are there any questions? Anything else? I'm going to pause for a little bit because I know that there's a delay in the system. When I ask a question, there's about 6 seconds in between what I say and what you hear. So we are going to wrap this up. I had a lot of fun. My name is Ben Gromicko. I am from InterNACHI. That's the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors. And if you need anything, I highly suggest you go to that website URL. It's nachi.org/everything. There you'll find everything you need to run a successful home inspection business, a step-by-step checklist, and do all the steps. If you need our help, feel free to email me, ben@internachi.org, and I will find what you need, because InterNACHI's goal is to provide everything you need to be successful. That's all we do here. So if there are no more questions, I thank you all very much. It is my honor and privilege to be here tonight with you. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, just give us a call. Bye, everybody.